Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope you guys have had a good start to your weekend and that your week was good as well. So, interesting things have been happening on the channel, as you would have gathered from the video that I made last night about the whole shadow banning thing and people not getting notified for my videos. And as I say this, an advert is trying to come onto the live stream. This doesn't help my case because I skip all the adverts. So anyway, yeah, it's all been a bit interesting on the channel. And what has been even more interesting is that, and first of all, before I get into all of it, welcome to you guys in the live chat room tonight. Let's see who's in there. We have Rose and Sue, Christian, Daisy, Bella, Angela, Ninja, Kitty, Maureen, Billy, Bob, Joe, Diamond Girl, Mark, Tammy, Christian, Jennifer, Alison, Daisy, Cindy, Arlene, Pamela, Muriel, Ruth. Hello to all you guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. So, yes, it has been really interesting because with my videos, and thank you guys for letting me know who has been getting the notifications and who haven't been getting the notifications, because it does seem to be a mix of about 50-50. And I think, well, considering the amount of subscribers on the channel, if 50% aren't getting the notifications, then yeah, that is going to dramatically change viewing figures and all that kind of stuff. But because I got stuck at 483,312, I believe was the number that I just got stuck at. Nothing happened. It was really weird, as I said in last night's video. Just super strange. That's never happened before, that I got stuck at a particular number. So, a few people have said this to me. They said in the past as well, why don't you do shorts videos? And I've always said that, well, because I'm so busy with everything and I do everything myself, I just haven't got time to do the shorts videos. But anyway, I thought, well, let me start doing some shorts videos and just, you know, cutting up some of the videos that I've already done and put those out there and see what happens, whether those get blocked as well or not. And I've released, as you guys will know, who've been watching and you know, the avid viewers will know that over the last couple of days I've released a couple of shorts, which is something that I don't normally do. And guess what? All of a sudden the subscriber count started to tick over again. So it seems like the shorts videos are immune to this particular block. Maybe they're seen in a different way, but yeah, those videos are getting out. And in fact, people have been commenting, and thank you guys for this as well, saying that they received a notification that there was a shorts video. And somebody even said that it said new shorts video from Wings of Pegasus. So those notifications seem to be getting out. So it is great because it's stopped that block where, you know, we were stuck at 483,000. I think we're now just over 484,000. But I mean, on the analytics, it looks ridiculous because literally the day that I released a couple of shorts, then 600 subscribers happened. So it's almost like they opened the gates for the shorts, and obviously subscribers are getting notified for it, which means that more people view it, therefore it gets pushed out there. If more subscribers watch it, and then more people watch it and then subscribe, given the content that they're seeing, even though they're, you know, only about a minute long, or sometimes a couple of minutes, or sometimes 30 seconds. So I think what I'll do is keep doing the shorts videos, because that seems to be almost kind of bypassing the main videos. But I'm hoping that maybe the shorts videos will lead back to the other videos now getting put out there to the normal amount of subscribers. And I know that by skipping adverts on these live streams and telling you guys that you don't have to donate, just watching is great. I know that that's not helping my cause, but I'm going to keep on doing it anyway. And thank you everyone who has joined up over on Patreon. And let me get the names of my patrons up on screen in the first place, because they make this all possible, everything that I do on the channel. And yeah, without them I wouldn't be making the videos. And because of the whole shadow banning thing and subscribers not being told about my videos, it really does mean that I rely on the foundation and the support that is over on Patreon. So thank you guys for that. But over on Patreon, you can set up a free account. And like I said in last night's video, I am going to be uploading the videos from my YouTube channel to Patreon. And you'll get a notification when I do a new video over on Patreon, which means I've done one on YouTube. But that's never going to be stopped in terms of patrons and people over on Patreon getting notified about a new video. That's always going to happen because there's no kind of banning or I guess any angles that if I'm maybe saying things that the mainstream music industry don't want me to say or to show people, then Patreon are nothing to do with that. So those videos will still get out over there. So yeah, thank you guys. I've seen that loads of people have joined up, and you can become a free member over there. You don't have to pay or anything like that. And for those interested, it is patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. That's where you can go and yeah, join there for free, and then you'll be able to see all the videos without the YouTube, I don't know, non-notification of subscribers that's going on at the moment. But hopefully we can reverse it with this shorts angle, and like I said, we might be able to sidestep this whole, it'll be interesting actually to see what happens with tomorrow night's video, because tomorrow night's video is it's going to be an interesting one, and I think it's probably going to be a relatively, I was going to say big one, but not in terms of the views, but in terms of what I'm showing about a particular release that has happened. I mean, relatively recently, but the remaster that's been released as well, and it's concerning a very big band, and some people would say probably the biggest band of all time. So, don't want to give it away, but that will be released tomorrow at 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, and this is why, that if that video gets released, and I mean I'm pointing out something about the release that is literally from the official channel of this particular band. So yeah, if you definitely want to get that video, then just make sure you're over on patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. I'll put this up again because it might be the case that these kinds of videos now aren't pushed out there as much as they were before, or subscribers won't be getting notified for it. So yeah, really interesting video coming up tomorrow night, because actually there's something that I noticed after the analysis that I then had to edit back into the analysis when I was then editing it together, because I didn't realize something that happened which absolutely proves beyond doubt that they've been messing with this particular person's voice and quite heavily. So anyway, look out for that tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Yeah, join for free over on Patreon in order to get that video. Right, let's get organised for tonight's live stream. And first of all, tonight we will be aiming for 450 likes. That is the likes goal. And if we hit that target, it means that we will have Phil Jam number 235 later on. And yeah, we'll bust out the guitar, see what's going on with that particular backing track. And I am still going to show this on screen. You don't have to donate. Just watching is great. And for those people that do donate, I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the super chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But yes, you don't have to donate, even though I can see that there have already been some donations. So thank you guys for those. They are very much appreciated, but yeah, you don't have to do any of that. Now, the other thing that I'm just going to mention this, because when I say about not doing my cause any favors by cancelling adverts and trying to limit them as much as possible, and another thing that is constant throughout my live streams, there's the donations goal that they want you to set. So if I click on this, it says goal, and it says make Super Chat more fun with a goal. So they want me to set a monetary amount to get in donations from you people watching, because apparently that makes it more fun, me saying, oh guys, please, we need $10 more to hit our super chat goal. It's not a super chat goal, and it's not making it more fun. It's literally trying to fleece people for money and using an excuse for that, saying, oh, but guys, look, we're not going to reach the goal. You know, the likes goal, you know, up there for a jam, I don't have a problem with that, because you don't have to pay to click the thumbs up, and you don't even have to click the thumbs up. It would be much appreciated, but yeah, it is totally optional. And yeah, I don't know, because this is saying pick a goal, choose the super chat colours that count. Okay, so if you donate anything less than £5, it doesn't count towards the goal. Oh, this is even worse than I thought it was. And then you set a timer so it counts down. So anyway, this is what YouTube is wanting me to do on my live streams. And like I've said, I don't do all of that, and I cancel the adverts that they try to put in during the live streams. So this is probably one of the reasons, apart from obviously pointing out things about major label releases that they don't want you to know. I think probably this thing, just ignoring it all the time, doesn't help my case anyway. But I'm going to keep on doing it because we've got Patreon, so you guys can head over there and yeah, we'll see what happens. But it is interesting that yesterday, you know, as soon as I uploaded a couple of shorts videos, it's almost like now that, you know, subscriber count has been allowed to move on. And I'd say that, yeah, it's moved on how it probably would do over, you know, a couple of days. So yeah, like I said, it's a sudden boost of 600. So that's great. You know, literally going from just flatlining for the last 2 weeks. So we will see. I'll continue with the shorts, and it can only help potentially to get the videos out there a little bit more as well. And I know that a lot of people do watch shorts who might not even be subscribed to the channel, so then they might check out what I do on the channel, and then yeah, get involved and subscribe. And thank you guys for tuning in and getting involved yourselves for tonight's live stream. It is very much appreciated. And we have the vote for tonight's cover video. It's A Design for Life, which is in the lead at the moment, but that is up against Broken Wings. So yeah, whichever one of those songs, my version obviously is going to be of either of those. You can vote for that, and we'll play that at the end of the live stream as well. So, oh, the likeometer, we need to see where we are at now in terms of the likeometer. Oh, it was more adverts trying to come in. Let me cancel that. Right, let me see if we can get this up on screen. So, oh, 381 likes already. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. And that means we're looking for... Oh, I was almost able to work that out. It would have been like, what, 67? That's what I'm going to go with. That's what my head just told me the number was. I don't know whether that's right or not. But we'll go for that. What, 63? I guess that is right, yeah, because it's 450 and 390 would be 60 behind. So, yeah, well, we've taken a huge chunk out of that likes goal already. So we may well be having a filled jam later on, but we won't count our chickens or our likes. If you can hit that thumbs up, that would be great. And that goes for you guys watching in the future on catch up. If you can't watch it live, every thumbs up really does help the channel to grow and for the live streams to get out there a little bit more. So yeah, we can still do as much as possible, but yeah, I'll keep an eye on the... I don't really, and haven't really looked at the analytics previously, but it was so weird that I then started looking into it and then realised that, yeah, it was indeed weird. Like I said, even going back to when I had 1,500 subscribers, you know, it wasn't like it has been over the last couple of weeks. So yeah, really strange. But maybe this shorts thing is going to cause a bit of a reset with the algorithm, or we can sidestep the algorithm with that. So yeah, I'll keep you guys in the loop as to how everything's going. Now, I am going to address the donations that have come through, and thank you guys for these. You don't have to donate, of course, but they are very much appreciated, the donations. And thank you to you guys over on Patreon who have joined up with the free accounts, but also a few people have joined in there and, you know, pledged like $3, and you know, it is very much appreciated for, you know, getting involved over on Patreon as well, because like I said, it is really the foundation of everything that I do. So Paul has donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, here we grow again, 484,000 subscribers, most excellent, let's have fun tonight. And spike those likes, all y'all rock. So thank you for that. I mean, it is crazy that, it was stuck at 483,312 subscribers. And then, I released a few shorts. And now, all of a sudden, seemingly, we are at 484,000 subscribers. So I guess... thank you guys for subscribing. It's an amazing number. And I guess maybe over the live streams, because I always, give a shout out as to when we've gone up by another 1,000 subscribers, I guess we can see what the shorts effect will be if the subscriber count starts increasing like it did before this whole shadow banning and lack of notification thing was kicked in over the last few weeks. So, yes, thank you guys for subscribing, and we'll keep on pushing forward to see where we end up. But thank you for that, Paul. And Diamond Girl has donated $5 as well and said, congrats on 484,000. Here we grow again. You're the best. So thank you for that. And Valhalla's donated £10. And that's a straight up donation. Thank you for that. Deborah's donated $20. And I can't really even tell what that is. There's a heart there and a star. And I can't really figure that out. Is somebody trying to eat a star? I don't know. But thank you, Deborah, for that donation and the little picture. And Diamond Girls donated. Oh, here we go. It's an animation thing, but it wasn't moving. So it's it was paused in a really weird place. It's a woman with a heart coming out of her head and then stars in her eyes. So there you go. But thank you, Diamond Girl, as well, for this $5 donation. And the message is, let's give YouTube a poke. Maybe they will start to notify again. So yes, hopefully, fingers crossed. Maltesers donated $9.99 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, hello, Phil. Are you too busy to have a haircut? It's time. So thank you for that. And short answer, yes. This is the problem, that when I'm really busy, I made time to have a shave. That's one thing. But then the other thing is, getting a haircut. So I have got a haircut booked in for next Thursday, I believe. So so that is in the diary in order to get that done. But this is the problem, that I'm so busy just getting things booked in. It is a bit of a nightmare, but it's got to the point where, as you can see, this side is absolutely fine fringe wise, and this side absolutely not. So I've had to do almost a centre parting type thing. Not quite centre parting, but this kind of straight hair. If I turn my head to the left like this, I lose vision in my left eye. So it's but luckily it's almost as if my hair knows that I need to look over this way most of the time anyway to see the screens that I've got set up for this live stream. So we've kind of got away with it tonight, but next Thursday will be when I'm going to have a haircut, and this is going to be a different place that I'm going to have my haircut. So let's see what happens. I might turn up next Saturday night with a totally different look. Even though I'll try and explain and show how I normally have my hair, we'll see what happens. Because I think previously, from what people have said, the layering hasn't been right, or a different way, or these side bits have been like too long, whereas they should be short, because I always get volume at the bottom of the hair, and then these bits kind of, because it's long hair at the side, it just kind of hangs down and goes all flat. So we will see next Saturday as to what my hair's looking like. But the good thing is about hair, or I suppose the lucky thing that I have, is that my hair does grow, so it means that I can just grow it out again if everything goes wrong, and then try and go back to how I had it before. So anyway, we'll have to see what happens. Right. Orlando's just donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, hey Phil, I will send a PayPal donation in minutes. Be on the lookout. Spike the likes with a thumbs up. So thank you for that. And I will get into the PayPal donations, because we have had a few in there. And it's Bradley who donated. Oh, this is on Wednesday night. So just after the last live stream. But Bradley donated £3.60. Thank you for that. And it is a straight up donation. So we then had a £25 donation from William. So thank you for that. I'm just checking if there's a message with that, but there isn't. Philip then donated £5. Thank you for that, Philip. And that was on Friday. And Nicole donated £12. Thank you for that, Nicole. And that was Friday, yesterday as well. And the message is, note from Nicole. Hello, Phil. This is what PayPal says. Note from Nicole. Hello, Phil. I hope the good weather has arrived in your city. I have a question. What is your favourite breakfast? Is this the most calorific meal of the day? Good weekend and rock time for all. So thank you for that. My favourite breakfast has got to be the breakfast that I have most of the time, which is porridge. It's like porridge oats. And just I have that with soy milk, and generally I'll have that with blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and what else do I put in it? I can't think of the word, but I know what they are because I have them every day. Oh, it's really annoying that the word is eluding me, but it's like a really small orange. And it's not a satsuma or a mandarin. That's what this fruit is called. So I have that in my porridge. So yeah, it's a bit of a fruit fest, and I have some fruit juice with it, which is sometimes a mix of different, like pineapple and orange and whatever. So I think pretty much, what we say here, what the government says, you've got to have your 5 a day, which is 5 fruits. So I just get them all out of the way with the first meal of the day. So yeah, I just pack loads of fruit into my porridge and have a fruit drink as well. And yeah, that's me done for breakfast. And I don't think, generally the evening meal, I would say, is more calories. So depending on what I have, but yeah, I don't think the breakfast is really high in calories, but I don't think I have meals that are really big. Now, only if it's like a celebration, you go out for a meal, or you're having fast food or something where, pizza's like 300 calories a slice. I think generally my meals are probably about 500 calories at night. So yeah, the porridge isn't going to get up to that. Porridge is probably 250 at a push 300, but yeah. The evening meal is always the biggest amount of calories, but then even still, it's still not a huge amount. It's like, I guess, having 1 or 2 slices of pizza, but I don't have fast food all that much, probably maybe once every 3 or 4 months, something like that. So yeah, it probably helps to keep me relatively lean and not kind of, hopefully not putting on too much weight. But yeah, you never know. You've always got to be careful. But thank you for that, Nicole. And Patrick has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Patrick. And that's a straight up donation as well. And Thomas has donated £10. Thank you for that, Thomas. That is a straight up donation as well. And now we have to go through notifications, and Bruce has donated £4, so thank you for that, Bruce. And I don't know why, but going through this PayPal, these notifications, sometimes it says the figure right at the bottom of the email. Sometimes it says it at the top of the email. Sometimes it shows the message at the bottom of the email. So trying to find it is all a bit of a nightmare, but that's a straight up donation from Bruce, so thank you for that. And Cindy's donated £20, and there is a message here at the bottom of the email. It says, what did you think of the Crystal Palace win over Man City in the FA Cup final today? Should Henderson have gotten a red card? So thank you for that. And yes, the FA Cup is a big day here in the UK. It's the final of a football competition, and it's a bit of a unique competition. Oh, let me skip this advert before it jumps in. It's a unique competition because loads of clubs are allowed to enter it and are involved with it. So when I say that, I mean that you have like the top league, which is like the Premier League, then the second league, Championship, then League One, then League Two, and then I think maybe is there a League 3? But then there's like the Conference League as well. So you've got loads of teams that are really far down, but everyone's allowed into this competition. So sometimes you have a club who just they have a good cup run, as we say here, where they start playing teams like Man United, for example. You can get a team who play in the lower leagues, but they get to play Man United and go to Old Trafford because it's the FA Cup. So yeah, it's a cool competition and very well known here in the UK, and I think probably in Europe among footballers. But yeah, the final today was between Crystal Palace and Man City, and Crystal Palace, who are the huge underdogs, won. They managed to. I suppose I was just about to say, well, if somebody's not seen it or anyone's not seen it, I don't want to give it away, but then Cindy's given it away with the actual question. So I won't say what the score is, just in case anybody hasn't seen it. But what Cindy's referring to is where in the game the goalkeeper came out and stopped the striker of the opposition from scoring by handballing it outside his area. Now, what happens when that happens is that it's a red card for the goalkeeper, which means they get sent off, which means they can't play anymore. So for the rest of the game, it means that the team have to play with 10 players rather than 11. So obviously it's an advantage for the opponents. But in the final of the biggest cup competition in England, they decided that it wasn't a red card and it wasn't even a free kick. It wasn't actually given in real time. And then they looked at it, and yeah, for some reason, and this is the stupid thing, and there were two decisions in that game that were ultimately wrong, because the people who were looking at the video, it's called the video assistant referee. The referees looked at the video and thought, oh no, that isn't a red card for the goalkeeper. But everyone says, well, it is a red card because those are the rules. But anyway, for some reason, the person watching the screen said, and it is a qualified referee who's looking at it and talking to the referee, he said for some reason that's not a red card. So Crystal Palace really got away with that, and I think everyone agrees that the goalkeeper should have been sent off. And then there was another situation, again, if you haven't seen it, I won't give it away, but it was a decision where a foul was given, and the reason that the referee gave on the VAR was because the opponent or the person trying to get the ball didn't touch the ball. And guess what? When you watch the replay, you can see that he clearly did touch the ball. So this is the problem with going to VAR and making the decisions more reliable. They're not more reliable because you're still relying on a human who might not have very good eyesight looking at the screen. And how big's the screen that they're looking at? How can he not see that the guy touched the ball? Because then he said, right, no, it is a foul because he didn't touch the ball. And they even showed it, and even the commentators were saying, but you can see he's clearly touched the ball. So yeah, this is the problem. If you're leaving it to humans, even if they say, oh, we're using technology now, you're not really using technology because you're still showing the technology to a human who then gets it wrong. So yeah, a couple of very big decisions that were wrong. But yeah, ultimately, Crystal Palace, massive underdogs, but first time they've ever won anything, and especially the FA Cup. So yeah, huge congratulations to them. So thank you for that, Cindy. And I mean, I am glad that I did actually see the game while I was organising the shorts things that I'm doing on the YouTube channel. But yeah, I did have it on in the background, so it means that I did know the results. So thankfully that wasn't ruined, which is good. So apologies for anyone who hasn't seen that. And yeah, that's kind of giving it away. But right, moving on. We had another donation from Tammy for £10. So thank you for that, Tammy. And the message is, hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 484,000 subscribers. See, your count didn't completely stop. It just slowed a bit. Your channel is still growing, and that's great. Keep up the good work. Love and rock. So thank you for that. And yeah, it did stop. It definitely did stop until I did these shorts a couple of days ago. And that's then what has got me off that number that I was stuck at. So yeah, thank you for that, Tammy. And we've had another donation, and this is from Debbie for £5. So thank you for that. And that is a straight up donation. And Sue's donated £20 as well. So thank you for that, Sue. And the message is, take that, YouTube. The shorts are shaking up the algorithm. So glad your channel is on the move again. You've got this. So yes, thank you for that. And I think probably what's helped my case is that I haven't really done shorts before. And it's not a type of video that I would release. So now that I'm releasing them, it's almost as if it's a new kind of video that maybe the algorithm's not used to, and it's treating it in a different way, and maybe it does treat shorts in a different way to fully fledged 15-20 minute videos. Certainly seems to be the case at the moment. But thank you for that, Sue. And Angela's donated £18. Thank you for that. And the message is, hello Phil, wondering if you can go into detail about what mixed voice is. How does one use both head and chest voice at the same time, or not? Thanks as always, Angela. So thank you for that. And yeah, mixed voice, being able to use mixed voice well is like the holy grail for any singer really. And it's something that Jeff alluded to, Jeff Scott Soto in the recent interview that we did. I don't know whether we saw that bit, because there's going to be loads of parts to that, but the part one released last week or the week before. But yeah, talking about using your vocal cords with just the right amount of air in order to ascend and descend without any strain. And a lot of people that have kind of mastered their mixed voice, it allows them to do that. And it's something that, I, having learned to sing myself, I haven't mastered how to do it, and I would love to. Like I said, it's like the holy grail, being able to just, drift up into really high notes without feeling any strain or anything. So yeah, generally, the principle is, and what you'll find, or what I find, is that getting your vocal cords to do it at a particular pitch is okay. And as you ascend, it's then trying to get your vocal cords to access the right configuration. And this is something that Jeff said, is that when he goes into his mixed voice, up high, and generally what will happen is when you're going from chest voice to head voice, if I'm going and I keep going up like that, I can bring some of the chest voice with that sound. So if I'm going it's still got a bit of body to it. Or I can go and leave chest behind. And you can hear the difference between, hopefully, the and the kind of light head voice sound when you just hand it off to your head voice, so you're not taking any of the chest voice there. So anyway, mixed voice is that place in between where you've got some of your chest voice going into head voice. You're not totally doing a light head voice sound, and you're not going you're not doing a full chest voice. It's that so there I'm kind of getting a bit of both, so it doesn't sound like and it doesn't sound like ooh. It's that those two kind of mixed together. So but now in terms of mastering your mixed voice, if I now take a sound that is quite light and I go like that, I don't know whether you can hear it, but I'm connecting my vocal cords after vocal fry, so going and there's a note there, but it's so light you can hardly hear it. So the principle of mastering your mixed voice and going from the top of your range to the bottom of your range is being able to do that, just go just beyond vocal fry, which is the most relaxed your vocal cords can be, so that they're kind of vibrating really loosely, and they just come together to make the note, the sound. And that's the most efficient way that you can use your vocal cords. So if you can start to do that and work at it and be able to access all of your range going up and down, then yeah, that's like the holy grail, because it means that your vocal cords are never working hard. And great singers can do this, and Jeff can do this. But what's really interesting is that Jeff openly admits he has no idea how he does it. He can just do it. So when you're asking somebody, and this is the problem, I think, with learning to sing and trying to master your own voice, when somebody else can do it, then trying to explain it, especially if they don't know how they do it, then you think, well, yeah, there's nothing you could take from that. When Jeff goes out, and the thing is, Jeff doesn't like to use it because to him it sounds too weak. And this is the other thing, the trade-off, that there are some people who can use it and they don't like the sound of it because to them it feels too much like falsetto. It's not falsetto, but to them it kind of sounds a bit like it is, so they don't like it. And that's the thing about Jeff, that he would, I think, rather take his chest voice a bit higher and mix that with head voice rather than just going for that full kind of light mixed voice sound. Because when you're working with minimal air, in order to get that sound, it's very light. That's the nature of it. And that's why some singers who use mixed voice really effectively, if you actually hear them sing, they're not, it sounds like they're belting when you do it through a microphone and it's turned up really loud. But when you hear them sing in isolation, they're not actually singing very loud. It's more like maybe even this volume that I'm talking at. It's not like, really loud belting and putting everything into it, even though sometimes that's the illusion, because they'll pretend that they are putting everything into it, but it's just actually a really small sound that's being controlled and has a little bit of a disguise, like almost like a bit of rasp in there, so it makes it sound like chest voice. So anyway, that's it. It's starting from, and it's something that I try to work out as much as I can, but it is such a unique configuration of vocal cords that for people, some people can just do it naturally. And even when they then explain, oh, right, so what you want to do is do this. But because they can do it, I think they don't understand that the people that can't do it can't do the noise to begin with. So you've got nowhere to go. So, but it's something that, can always be worked at. And I would like to get better at it. It's just having the time to do it all. I think with my voice, I've kind of figured it out enough to understand how I can get to particular notes with head voice, and then getting a little bit of chest voice in there and editing my tone a little bit to allow my voice to go higher. So I use other things in order to achieve it, but it would be great for me to be able to do it just in that pure mixed voice with perfect technique. But then it might be the case, the same as Jeff, that I think, well, I don't like the sound of it. I would rather get the chest voice sound in there and do it with a little bit more power. But anyway, there we go. But that's my best explanation for it. And so I don't. The only kind of mixed voice that I have is kind of literally the mix between chest voice and head voice in that space, and bringing chest voice into head voice a little bit more. And generally with the songs, cover songs that I've done and my own songs, if they're up and around a G4, maybe A4, I'm still using a little bit of chest voice in that. I'm not just going over into really light head voice. But then again, for the harmonies on More Than Words of the cover there, that's the kind of thing that you then allow to get really light in head voice, because those notes do go quite high up there. But for a lead vocal, I think, unless it's the style, especially for hard rock, you can't really get really light in your head voice with a G4 and an A4, because it's not going to sound right. So, but unless you're using your pure mixed voice and having a bit of rasp in there, or the illusion of rasp, and it would be great to get really good at that. But this is it, that I learned to sing from scratch. So it means that I started from the hardest place. I had no natural ability in the first place. So people that can just naturally do things and naturally get into their falsetto, naturally get into mixed voice, and they don't really know how they do it, but their voice just does it. That's kind of the opposite of where I'm starting from. So but never say never. Practice makes consistent, hopefully, but we'll see. But I'm at a point where I'm not in a bad place, but I think every vocalist always wants to get better and wants to master different things. So anyway, thank you for that, Angela. Hopefully that makes sense. Joseph has donated £10.80. So thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, I did see the notice for the live. I want to update the gang with Tori Holub News. She has a producer, Rob Shurik Barry, who produced the big tour. He has taken on Tori and will record songs in London with Tori this summer. So thank you for that, Joseph. And yes, Tori will be on Authentic Vocal in the future. I'm still working out things with that, and I think unfortunately because of this whole thing on YouTube happening and everything kind of stopping and trying to find a way around that, it means that I've had to obviously try and work at this to get things back on track. But I will be doing that in the future. So thank you for that. Dawn's donated £5.76. So thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, I just discovered the amazing vocalist from Sweden, Eric Gromwall. I was wondering if you know of him and what you think of his killer voice. I sure hope he's not doing any trickery. Thanks, you rock. So thank you for that. And no, I haven't heard of Eric yet, apart from just in this message. So he's somebody that I have to check out. I don't know whether, this might be something totally different. There's the Eurovision Song Contest on at the moment, and there was a singer there who, I can't remember when it was, maybe a few days ago that I saw, and it was a guy with a great voice and really high range. But interestingly, you could hear in his voice that hitting the crazy notes, male tenor range, and even higher than that counter tenor range, he was really comfortable in that space. But then when he came down into his chest voice, you could hear that his chest voice, for most people, like for me, it would be really comfortable when he came down. But you could hear that was really low in his voice. So he just naturally got this really high voice, and obviously that's where his range sits up there. So it sounded really impressive. But it's interesting to hear somebody's range when they then come down as to where their voice naturally sits. So, notes that I'd be able to put loads of body into was really kind of almost like he's struggling to get down that low, which this is the thing. Every vocalist is different. Everyone has a different natural range. So this is why when you are learning to sing, find where your range is and start transposing songs to where your voice is, and then they'll start obviously sounding a lot better because you won't have to strain as much to hit high notes or low notes. And this is it, that sometimes a low note can be too low for you to get. So just kind of raise it up a little bit, transpose the key of the song. But thank you for that, Dawn. Leslie's donated £18. Thank you for that, Leslie. And the message is, Phil, now that you have been an adult for more than half your life, are you optimistic or pessimistic about the human condition than you were when much younger? So thank you for that. And I've been an adult for way more than half of my life, but thank you for that. And I think probably with everything going on in the world, you can only be pessimistic because not that I want to talk about things. I think when I was younger, there's less of this stuff going on. So now, there seems to be just ridiculous things going on around the world where you think that, as I've said before in other live streams, that how can humans not empathize with the other humans that they are negatively affecting? Like, if somebody were to come and, punch you in the face, you know that hurts and you know that you don't like that. So why would you go and do that to somebody else? Obviously, I'm giving the example of punching somebody in the face, but it's a little bit more serious than that with things going on around the world. So I don't get it. So I am pessimistic, and I think, unfortunately, I think there are a lot of people around the world who have a more advanced brain. And there are people, unfortunately, a lot of people in power who have the old brain that is more to do with our ancestors who valued power, valued land, and it's almost like being the alpha male, having to prove yourself and all this kind of stuff. They still think that that's important. Whereas the more advanced brains know that, well, that's not important. What is important is looking after the planet and ensuring the future of the human race. If the old brain had its way, eventually the human race would die out because we're killing off everybody. You don't kill your... The model of advancing as a race is not to kill itself off. It's the opposite. So yeah, if those kinds of brains are allowed to thrive, unfortunately, yeah, you can only be pessimistic about the future of the human race. What we need is for people who have the more advanced brains to say, look, we clearly have the more advanced brains because we're not worried about power or land or anything. We're worried about, first of all, the earth. We should probably look after it, is where we live. But then also about getting on and making sure that everyone's all right and having empathy and understanding that, yeah, if people are starving in the world, that's not nice. Like, we know, I mean, we don't know. That's the irony of it, that we don't actually know what it's like to starve. And that's the injustice of it. And very much my song at the beginning, Running Blind, rewind the live stream. Have a look at that song, because I don't get political on my channel, but that's just something that I did in order to maybe make people think about, questions that might be brought about with that. That, we're so lucky that we don't know what it's like to, have to worry about our next meal or to feel like you are starving and to go through all that. And I think, the people with the advanced brain are probably, fans of or pushing for just making everything right in the world so that the human race can move forward. But I don't know, it's probably going to take, I don't know whether that'll ever happen. It's probably going to take thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of years for us to actually understand that there are more important things than fighting with each other or having land or taking over other people's land. But anyway, thank you for that, Leslie. Orlando's donated £10. Thank you for that, Orlando. And wow, this is a long message. So, Jill or Gil, or some people call me Gil when they write Phil, because G is next to the F. But it says, you just got political in this live stream. So unfortunately, if I'm asked about something that's specifically political, I'll do my best to avoid it, but I've got to answer the question. But thank you, for this donation, Orlando. So moving on from that, it says, have you read, long message here, have you read about Justin Bieber and his money problems? Justin just sold his songbook for about $250 million to take care of a record company debt, but he still found himself $20 million in debt. His then business manager, Scooter Braun, took care of the debt, but now Justin owes him that money. Justin then hired Louise M. Taylor as his new business manager to help him, but she ended up ripping him off of more money. She did not help him at all. Justin's financial problems have just gotten worse. How would you fix Justin's problems? Well, what I would have said is, first of all, he was really young when he became very popular, which is just, that's a red flag immediately. If you've got parents who don't understand the music industry or contracts, because I always say, and this is something that I'll say for probably the rest of my days, that fame is the thing that blinds people into signing recording contracts. And Justin Bieber definitely had that. He's famous, and a record label makes him more famous. Therefore, he thinks everything's great because people know who he is. At no point would Justin Bieber or his parents say, okay, yes, he's famous, but what are his percentages? And what are the splits, the percentage splits? How much are we selling a CD for? And how much does it cost to make? How much did it cost to produce? And what are the margins on merchandise, ticket sales, album sales? What are the royalties that we're going to be getting from radio airplay? All of these things, I guarantee you, Justin nor his parents were asking the record label, because if they did ask those questions, they would have received answers that they would have said, what? We're getting 2% of everything? If that. And when you get that 2%, that is used to pay off the debt. So you don't even actually get that 2%. So making 2% of everything, you can imagine, you've got to make a ridiculous amount of sales to pay off, for example, a $1 million recording contract. Or in this case, you can see, $20 million is what he owed. So they spent $20 million on him, and he's getting maybe, 2%, did we say, of every sale. He wouldn't even, this is the thing, that he probably wasn't making anything on his CD sales. He might get 2% of the royalties. So the amount of money you've got to make to pay back $20 million, when you could say, right, okay, so for every play we got £1. No, you didn't. You got 2p, because the record label will take 98p of that. So for 2 pence, that you've now paid off 2 pence worth of $20 million. And this is why I always say about record deals that just don't sign it. It's a loan. So that's a $20 million loan that he has to pay back. And it doesn't stop when the recording stops, or when the recording or when you're let go by the recording company and the recording contract is now kind of effectively finished. It's not finished from a money point of view. It's finished for you as an artist. You now owe however much it is. So this is the problem. Anyway, getting back to the question. So if you're $20 million in debt, and then he's hired somebody who's then done him over, and hired somebody else who's done him over again, I would go all the way back to basics, which means doing what I do. I do everything myself, which means I own 100% of my publishing rights. So let's say that Justin Bieber is now trying to make money. He's well known enough, and he has enough fans that if he said, I'm going to produce I don't know whether he's got the ability to do this, but if he said, I'm going to produce my own album, and it's going to take me maybe 6 to 8 months, and he could set up a Patreon account and say to his fans, I need help with the funding. If he is going to produce it himself, or maybe go to a producer that he trusts, just find somebody that you can trust, and he might say, I need to raise £20,000 or $30,000. Recording isn't that expensive. Record labels just go crazy with it, and rent out ridiculous studios, and producers charge it's not uncommon for a producer to charge $500,000 for an album. So this is the point, that you think, well, you won't need that. You'll need maybe, instead of $500,000, $30,000, and that is still a lot. That would cover let's say, for example, he wants to cover income for a year. The problem is he might have a really big house, and this is the other thing that happens when people get really famous. They start spending money that they don't actually have. They buy a mansion, they buy a supercar, and all these different things, rather than just buying a sensible house and getting a sensible car, so that if everything does fall through, at least, if you get maybe $40,000 or $50,000 a year, you can still tread water. You can stay above water. You can pay your bills. So anyway, I don't know what kind of, maybe he can sell his house and just have a more modest living. But then if he were to record an album for $20,000 or $30,000, do it himself, he's got the fan base where he could release that and own 100% of it. Now then, if he makes 1 million sales, then you're talking silly money. So that's what I would do if I were him. And guess what? He could design his own logo. He could have his own merchandise that is now owned by him. He could register that his logo if he wanted to, so nobody else can steal it. Have a particular Justin Bieber logo that's put on merchandise, and you can outsource the merchandise so that you're getting the percentage from that company. That's what I do, with merch here. And I probably will be changing from spring.com in the future, because they're getting a bit unreliable. But anyway, and this is the great thing, that being in control of it, you can do that. I'm not under contract with Spring, so I can just change it to another company if I want to. So that's what I would advise. Just go back to basics. Know your margins. Set up a tour if you want to. Even just do one show. And know the margins of how much it costs to rent the venue and how much you're going to sell tickets for. And then make sure that you've got a markup that means you're doing it for a profit. So then you can afford to put on another tour. And guess what? If you can afford to put on another tour, you can get bigger and bigger and bigger venues, to where instead of the record label making $20 million a show, you would be earning that. So yeah, this is for one show. And by the way, that I know people will say that that's silly money, but yeah, Taylor Swift's recent tour, that's why it got into what, over 2 billion, because she was making, I think, between 18 and 20 million per gig every time she went out on stage. So imagine making that money for yourself. And I know, yeah, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of organisation, but you could do one show and then retire. That's how stupid it is. That's the kind of money we're talking about when record labels are dealing with it. They're making ridiculous margins, but they're putting that in their pocket, and the artist isn't making any of that more often than not. So anyway, yeah, thank you for that. That's how I would solve Justin Bieber's. It's not as if he's struggling for a following, because that's always the difficult part for musicians. Anyway, look, I'm going to have to really move things on, because we need to jump into tonight's cover video, which I can see is going to be Broken Wings, and we have the Phil Jam, which we are going to be jumping into. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up, and I will get into the PayPal donations after this as well. The Phil Jam's almost 9 minutes, so we're really going to have to cut this live stream to a close very quickly, but I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you after. Rock!
Don't understand why we can't just hold on to each other's hands. This time may be the last, I fear, unless I make it all too clear. I need you so.
And there we have it. That was my version of the Mr. Classic, Broken Wings. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Right, let's quickly get through the donations so far on PayPal. Amy donated £20, so thank you for that. And Amy said, I like your Hobbit t-shirt. Who is your favourite Hobbit of Lord of the Rings character? What is your favourite scene from these movies? Aragorn, of course, as favourite character, and favourite scene, I'm not sure. Maybe when I'm trying to think of kind of the main. Is it in the Two Towers? It might be. But anyway, the main fight scene where you've got it's everything is evading my brain. Like even trying to think of the word orcs, my head would not give me that word. I guess because I'm in live stream mode, not thinking about Lord of the Rings. But let me think of another scene. Right at the beginning where everything's happy at Hobbiton and they're all having a party. There you go. My favourite scene. But no, I don't think I really have a favourite scene. That's why it's probably difficult to think about it. But I am a fan of the movies. But thank you for that, Amy. I think because I'm trying to rush through this, thinking about things in detail is difficult. But Carl's donated £5.58. Thank you for that, Carl. And PhilJam235 was the message. So that is what we are going to be jumping into. And I can see that there have been other donations. So thank you guys for those in the super chat window. And hang on, there's been a lot here. Maltesa donated $9.99, said, are you still doing the random crunches whenever you have a few minutes? A really good habit. So thank you for that. Yes, generally I'll do 100 crunches, no matter how long they take. Ninja Kitty donated $2, says Kitty proposes excess goal applied to next show. Thank you for that. Elaine donated $2, says TikTok time is escaping. Yes, indeed. Thank you for that. Orlando says, thank you for answering my question, Philip, with a $2 donation. Kiri Ellison has donated $2 and said, I am a fan. Excellent, Phil. And then David says, thank you, Phil. Wishing you wishes to you and all you love, blessings, and donated $5. Thank you for that. Right, now, guitar on. And are we zoomed out? I think we might be zoomed out. We might have been. Yeah, there's the red dude. We're already zoomed out. Click on this. Let me know what
Step into the Wix
Let me know
studio.
what the levels are like. I didn't hear that advert for some reason, which is a bit disconcerting. Okay, right. So this is big progressive 7/4 backing track / guitar jam, and then in brackets astronomic Panatone, and this is coming from Pat Matroni on YouTube. So that's the channel. So if you can let me know what this sounds like levels wise, would be good. We're just going to jump into it. We're a bit behind. Can you hear this? almost ran out of frets. Have it. Stop. Okay. So there we. I knew it was going to end at some point, and it was getting closer to the ending. I thought, what's going to happen here? It's going to be an absolute nightmare because it's suddenly going to stop, and that's exactly what it did. Let me skip this advert quick. Did I skip the advert? Ads skipped. Got there. So there we have it. The little bits there that were a little bit jazzies, so to speak. Moving up the guitar and realizing, oh yeah, I'm kind of where I probably want to go. I don't have that many frets on this guitar, so no doubt Joe probably said that it was a more gem backing track, and I've got the Strat, so there we go. We did it as well as we could do with the Strat. So that was that. A big progressive 7/4 backing track / guitar jam, in brackets astronomic Panettone, Panettone, and that's from Pat Matroni, the YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you for sending that my way, Joe. I mean, that was quite good. We went to had a couple of changes in there that thankfully, once you kind of get the hang of it. The only nightmare is when you think it's going to change and then for some reason it goes somewhere else that you haven't heard before, but that just kept on doing the same thing. And I think this is more maybe a practice thing for what mixed Lydian scale and Lydian scale is what it says then. It shows you all the notes that you can be playing, and yeah, hopefully the notes that I was playing corresponded in some kind of way, but it is what it is. So I'm going to be here with that video tomorrow night. Again, head over to Patreon. Here, patreon.com/wingtopegasus to get notified for my videos. Because, yeah, tomorrow's video, you don't want to miss that one. It's going to be a good one. I say a good one. It's going to be a good / bad one because of what I'm pointing out. But, yes, it is what it is, as they say. Right, so there have been a couple more donations, and we mentioned Carl's one, and then Glenn's donated £18, so thank you for that. Glenn has donated £18. I'm just seeing if there's a message with that. No, there isn't. But yeah, thank you guys for the donations. Diamond Girl donated $5 and said, "Thanks, Phil. Always a pleasure to hear you play. Likes goal blown away tonight." And thank you, Orlando, $5 donation, and says, "Some elements of that Phil jam reminded me of Summer Song by Joe Satriani." So thank you for that. And yeah, this is it. That I think, especially, Joe does like to throw in a lot of Lydian stuff. So that's probably why, it sounds very similar. There'll be particular scales that players just explore and work out particular runs in, and certain songs therefore have a particular sound of a scale because that's the scale that they're using a lot in the particular piece. So anyway, thank you for that. Right, we are going to be calling things to a close now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Look out for that video tomorrow at 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time as always. I'm going to be live streaming again Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, so look out for that as well, because I will be there. If you could join me again, that would be very much appreciated. So yes, try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!